feel like Bill Belichick sometimes, man. I can't get them to play out the way I want them to play. Great team, a lot of great talent on the roster, and they cannot put it together all in one week. It's very disturbing, disgustingly disturbing. 35 to win, and I get 34. Block field goals. No one's showing out. Negative points. Negative yards. It's ridiculous. That being said, to all my detractors out there, go fuck yourself. But that's all I got for you. Have a good night.
You sounded angry.
Wow, we've heard Will angry before. Switch back to when he left that hate voice message for PJ DeFagowitz. Man, Will sounds very down. I don't blame him. He had high hopes coming into the season. This was going to be the year he kind of turned shit around. This might be the hardest loss in Will's franchise history. Maybe since he lost the Dynasty Bowl back in, what was it, Dynasty Bowl 3 or somewhere around there. Man, and now, Brutal Deluxe, 7-0. He's 17 of 18. He's stealing my spotlight, and that's where I'm a little upset. I should be, the talk of the town, and I have to share the goddamn spotlight with friggin' Brutal Deluxe. I don't appreciate that. Brutal scored the second least points in the South Riverdale division.
When you're scoring 82 points and getting wins, it's like,
Right. And he's got teams have scored 584 points against him. That equivalates there to 83 points per game being scored against him. If you compare that to, say, Soul Glow, who has 812 points scored against him, which is the most in the league, teams are putting up 116 points per game against Soul Glow. So, I'm sure if Brandon was the commissioner, we'd all be figuring out reasons why he's cheating and things like that. But, hey, the fantasy gods, part of fantasy, right, Bob? What do we think about this situation going on here?
It happens, I guess, as much as I hate it and I think it sucks, and it happens.
What do you, I know I've obviously made my opinions felt regarding fantasy gods, and I think I've, pretty much put it out there that I, pretty much think it's right around like 70% fantasy gods, and then about 30% of control that you have. Bob, where are you on that?
I don't know if I can put a number on it.
No, you're gonna.
Okay. You can draft a great team, and I'm not gonna say that Will drafted a great team. He had drafted a pretty good team. He had some talent on his team, and he kind of got unlucky a couple times. And Brandon didn't draft a great team, and he ended up starting 5-0, and then he made some trades, and now it looks like he has a much better team.
Right.
But I'll use me as an example. Last year, I thought I had a phenomenal team last year, and I ended up not making the playoffs because you lose a couple of games here and there, and so if I had to put a number on it, I would say I'm gonna say the other way around.
Wow.
I'm gonna go 70 skill, 30 fantasy gods.
Okay.
There's a reason I'm always, and you guys are gonna make fun of me. I know. You can let me hear it. There's a reason I'm always in or close to the playoffs every year.
Yeah, so am I, but I think it's the other way around. I'm in it more than you are, asshole. Did you ever think about that?
I don't know.
I've made the playoffs the last 2 years, and I'm gonna make it.
What about in the last 4?
I've made it through.
I made 3 out of 4 too, not including this year.
So maybe we're
the
the same.
And last year I should have, if the stupid fucking fantasy gods.
Oh no, but it was only 30%. Though.
Exactly. So that's 30%. They can have 30% account, like they can account for 30%.
It's a great debate. I've written term papers on it. I think I'd like to get a theologist. That's not the word. What's the word for what's the word for studying religion? Theology?
Yeah,
so
theology.
If you study theology, you're
a theologist.
So I said that.
Yeah.
All right. I got to have a little bit
more
you're good. Confidence in my vocabulary.
Yeah.
We should get a theologist on the show. What do you think about that? I just thought of it right now.
That'd be good.
We should look into that.
Let's jot that down.
I heard Dom Davis, former Patriot linebacker, is into the religion now.
Really?
Yeah, we'll look into that.
Okay.
So what was the other thing I wanted to say? Long term, I think that the fantasy gods have less say over your over your success. I think that's a reason why, I know we're both kind of maybe sound a little cocky here, but
it's not cocky if you back it up.
Right. So, I think that. I think I'm currently second all time in winning percentage. I mean, fantasy gods can definitely affect your game, can affect your season, can even affect but over a long span of time, like an era, 5 years, I think that I would agree it's about 30-70 the other way.
Okay.
Long term. And then the league poll, Bub. Brandon put it out there last week. Asking the league who they thought was going to stay undefeated the longest. Now we both go to 7-0. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's still going to be me? It looks like most of the league voted me. I think there was like 8 me, 1 Brandon, and obviously Brandon probably voted for himself. And then there's 3 douchebags that didn't vote.
I mean,
or just you know what? You probably don't care, right? Who cares? Like, if it's not you, then who cares?
I still think
that's what Brian said, right?
That's true. I still think Brandon's going to lose first. Taking a look at the schedule here, Brandon has this
He's
week.
Got the Loggers this week.
Loggers this week, but then he has VIP next week, and then me the week after.
Okay.
And then Hong Kong.
Right.
I mean, who's no pushover.
Right.
So that's.
Well,
that's.
But I have Hong Kong this week, and then I believe I have Pig Newtons the following week. So I mean, I'm not.
And then Handy Quacks, who might make the playoffs. So, and then you have VIP. I mean, there's some tough games coming up. So I don't know.
The Power Rankings. Hey, who's number 1? Hey, who's second ass? The Dynasty Power Rankings.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the power rankings and I guess kind of just like the standings in general, Bob. Obviously, yet again, another great job. What you and Jay Young are doing a fantastic job. Doing the write-ups, very entertaining. I love the Kansas City Chief reference. I'm like, where the hell is this going? Why are you talking about the Chief? And then you mention that and say why. It's actually an interesting stat.
I thought that I saw that. I think it was 2 weeks ago because they had their bye last week. And I thought that blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I said the same thing. Well, they've won. How is that possible?
Right.
And someone referenced the fact that they kicked a game-winning field goal with no time left.
0 seconds
so
left.
They've been ahead for 0 seconds, 0 minutes.
All year. Crazy talk. So back to the power rankings, though. You want to give us just a quick little synopsis, or what do you want to say kind of about the power rankings before we kind of really talk about?
Yeah, the top two staying strong. It's you and Brutal. I mean, even though all the facts you said about Brutal before, he's 7-0.
Yeah,
it's tough to.
You have to put him.
It's tough to dispute that.
I did the same thing.
I did as well.
You can't not put him.
Everyone did actually. All 4 rankers.
Okay.
The top 3 were unanimous, by the way. You in first, Brandon in second, me in third. So I've been climbing the last couple weeks.
You're a climber.
The next 3.
Speaking of climber, Bub, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
We have.
Where's this going?
Well, yeah, we have, some of you may know, some of you don't. We have various nicknames for women at work. Myself, Brian used to when he worked for us. Jay Young, John, Whiff, Brandon, and we give them nicknames so that we can talk about them,
right?
Like in lunch or whatever, and people overhear us, but they won't know what we're talking about.
Like dumpster fire and
stuff like that. We used to have one called the Climber because we felt as if she was. Like every day we saw her, she came to play more than the other day. When I say came to play, she was wearing more exotic clothing. So she was kind of climbing the mountain, like working her way up. Why are you laughing?
It's one of the most obscure,
random things
I've ever heard.
That's what we do here on the Tom Berkowitz Trucking Dynasty.
Hey, no, I like it.
Anyway, the Climber, which she's no longer the Climber. She's now the Decliner. I feel John. I think John and others still feel she's kind of going up, or at least at the plateau, and she's where she's at. I feel she's going downhill.
So you could call her the down escalator.
I call her the decliner, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
Okay. So I've been climbing to third. I'm at third now. The next 3 or 4 spots, VIP, Pig Newtons, Solo, Hong Kong, they're kind of up and down. And then the bottom 5 there, Peril after I think he's lost 3 in a row now.
Yep.
He's way down there.
4 in a row. Peril's lost 4 in a row.
I thought he was 1-1. Then he was 2-1.
He's lost 4 in a row.
Yeah.